Oh, yeah, welcome to the Free Yourself podcast. Yep, I do a little bit more than just make coffee, eat donuts, do little TikTok videos. Yet, I do have a podcast that I have not done in a while. I've done some interviews on my podcast, some inspiring interviews. If you have not checked those out yet, please do. Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. So I hope you guys can go back and check them out, and hopefully you like them too. So yeah, I have been out of the loop for a while with podcasting because I've been busy. You know, I got life to do as well. You know, it's not all about podcasting, and it's okay if you're not feeling it because you have other things going on. What do I have going on? I got a promotion the beginning of the year, about a month ago or a few weeks ago, that I stepped into a new role, and so it's been an adjustment mentally. So obviously mentally shifting at work, not mentally there for podcasting. Also, mental or self care. As you know, you get busy in life. You need to make sure that you have time for yourself, because if you haven't taken care of yourself and you're not there, you're not going to be of any use to anyone else. So that's big, and life goes up and down. So that's what it is. I've been DJing, staying busy, doing live stuff, doing like I said, TikTok videos. I've been having a lot of fun with those. If you haven't checked those out, check me out at Boog 1978 on TikTok. It's just a little bit of fun. Living fearlessly, living, to your highest passions, and not like really caring about anything else or what anybody thinks. Just having fun. Anyways, all right, so I'm back. I saw a movie today that reminded me of an interview that I saw the other day, which kind of, it's funny how things happen in life where one day you're watching this that's kind of interesting, and then something comes up and you start to look into it, and it kind of goes with you were just watching the other day, and it was just I don't know, I wanted to talk about it, so here I am. So my sister put me on to this TV, this movie called Free Guy. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's with Ryan Reynolds. Thought it was pretty good. It's a little similar to like Ready Player One, where it's about video games and simulations and avatars and someone playing in the real world, but like the video game has its own world and interactive. And anyway, so in Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds guy wakes up every day because he's just like an extra on it's called the NPC. It's the character in a video game that is not like a main character, is not being played by anyone in the real world. It's just part of the game, part of the simulation. It just kind of walks around and does the same thing all the time. And it was meant to be like a reflection of this real world where people are going about their lives doing the same thing every day like a program. So it's kind of mimicking that. However, the player realizes that he's not just another person or just another character in the game, that he has free will and that he has the power to do anything he wants. And so, the story is that he goes, he finds out that he can do whatever anything that he wants. And so he finds, the more he finds what he loves to do, what he likes to do, what he wants to do, the more he starts leveling up and becoming more um, powerful, and not like strong, just like a more. Anyway, so the character finds that the more he finds himself, the more he does, he's finding that he can do the things that he wants to do, the things that he loves to do. The more alive he feels, the more like he doesn't feel like he's part of the simulation. There is more to life if you just go with your heart and do what you love to do. The character starts leveling up. So that brought me back to an interview that I watched the other day, where there's this like genius guy that wrote a book about a theory or an idea that this life, real life, could be a simulation. That a simulation that your higher self kind of designs and develops prior to incarnating into this world, right? So you know, your higher self, your spiritual self, your soul, your spirit, um, that aspect of you that is where you return to when you leave this life, right? So when you leave this life, it's said that you go to heaven, right? Or your soul, that aspect of you. So the idea is that aspect of you, your spirit, develops a simulation for itself so that it can experience what it's like to be human. Because being human is a beautiful thing. You have emotions, you have living on this planet. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experience that, from the spirit's perspective, it can't really feel all that. You're not in physical form. You don't get to go through emotions. You don't get to eat pizza, stuff like that. You can't experience that at the spirit level. So what you do is you develop your own simulation, and then you design yourself to forget that so that you can have a true, genuine experience of a human experience. Being born, growing up, living through life, and each obstacle in your life that you preset for yourself, because you preset the obstacles that you want to experience. You develop the whole thing, because that's what you want to experience. So each time you overcome an obstacle, you level up. You go to the next level, right? You go through high school. You go through all the obstacles in high school, and again, you still have your free will, right? So there's many roads you can take, and you get to pick the one that you want to pick, right? And then you take it from there, and you live those experiences. So every time you overcome an obstacle, you get to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level, until when you get to the point where, in life, when you start thinking, what am I here for? Some people go to church, people pray, some people just meditate, and they find their higher their higher power calling, their God. They feel their God calling, and it seems like it's their higher self that resides in that space, right? Is your higher self, your spirit, it lives in heaven, right? With God, right? So that aspect of you is always there. It's always there. As a human, you're always searching for that. That when you start to get to a certain point, you realize that's what I am. I am a spirit, right? Because when you leave this earth, that is what goes. It's your spirit. So you're already there. It's finding your soul, your spirit, finding that, and understanding that that is what you really are. However, you're having a human experience. So as you're leveling up in life, in your human life, you are also, your spirit is also evolving. It's learning all through all of your human experiences. It is learning, expanding. So that's the concept. That's the idea, right? And that's a concept. I'm not saying um, that is my beliefs. It is just an idea that I found intriguing, right? So I listened to that interview, and then I see this movie that kind of it seems like it goes hand in hand. And although I don't know exactly what is out there, I don't know how life is. Um, one of the key one of the key takeaways is that, well, first of all, I I learn from a lot of different things in life. Things come into my life, and it was an interview with my uncle the other day, with Uncle Jerry, that that I life here on Earth for me is like a school. There's teachers everywhere. I'm learning all the time. Lessons, obstacles that I was just talking about, they do come into my life for learning experiences. I don't think there's any mistakes at all. I think life is just what it is. You give meaning to whatever happens in your life, and I'm choosing to look at each event as a learning experience. It's a step along the way on in my path, where if I achieve a goal, it's exciting. It's what I was striving for. However, like I said before, when I a lot of times when I reach that point, it's great. I celebrate it, but it's also by that time I have already created a few more goals that it's just another step along the way, where something happens that it seems to be bad, quote unquote bad, that it really isn't. That you're still where you're supposed to be. But if you look at it, instead of looking at it as a negative, I'm like, oh man, here we go, I made a mistake. That feeling of feeling down is what can create a block for you to actually seeing the lesson in it. Who was it that said? Somebody said, the guy that invented the light bulb. I don't know, Edison or somebody, one of those guys, that it took him 2,000 times to figure out the light bulb, right? Um, and he says, I didn't fail 2,000 times. I just learned. I learned that it took me 2,000 times to learn the correct way of doing things, right? It's just that outlook in life, um, where it's not a mistake. It's just you learn from it, right? And it's there for a reason. Um, so, yeah, I just thought it was a good, a good movie. It was a good interview. It was intriguing. And again, it is what it is. I learned from everything. I learned. So I'm not saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I don't subscribe to that idea, right? But some things kind of resonated with me. The movie, I don't definitely do not think we're living a video game like that. However, it makes you think about some values in life, or just how to live your life. Meaning, in the movie, there was limits to this character that was just created to just go about his regular day, doing the same thing, and other characters were calling him crazy for wanting to do something that he loved to do, right? It's the world that places limits on you. By the way, that other idea that I was talking about, that other theory, you place as a spirit, you place your own limits so that you can transcend those limits, so that you can push yourself to the next level, so that you can, so that you can, like I said, transcend those limits. Like, you are a limitless being. As a spirit, you can probably do anything you want. You are a spirit, a spiritual being having a human experience, where if you really tap into your true self, that spirit, you are truly limitless. You can do anything you want, anything you love. So, when you figure out that you don't have to just be another character, and that you can create your own life, you can create the life that you wanted to, it just gives you that feeling that I've been talking about throughout each podcast, is that feeling of breaking out of that shell and just releasing who you are, what you are. And it's a great feeling. Anyway, so the movie gave me that feeling, right? And the interview was interesting, and it kind of makes sense a little bit, in a sense where you are, you do have a higher power. You are a spiritual being. When you learn to pray and align yourself, you talk to God, you pray to God, and God is saying, yes, I hear you. I need you to realize that. I need you to align yourself to this power, to who I am. Live your life from this perspective as much as you can, and just watch what you can do. It's limitless. It's amazing. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below, open the conversation, email me, freeyourself@gmail.com, FREEYOURSHELLF@gmail.com. Peace.